Hello and welcome to episode 84 of the No Excuses podcast. My name is Anne and I live in Worcestershire with my husband Tom, and today is Sunday the 25th of August. I've not seen you all month and I'm really sorry about that. I sort of haven't achieved very much, and that's one reason why I haven't podcast, but I'll show you what I've been doing and we'll go on from there. You know what I'm like. Always great plans. But this is a no excuses podcast, so I can't make any excuses, can I? Again, we turn my tablet off. It's a bit distracting having the screen on there. Right, let's talk about, get the admin out of the way, and then we'll talk about what I've been working on. First of all, they are the two make-alongs, which are the Craft More in 24, where you're doing something new to you. And only today I've had a punch needle entry into that, and it's something I've never tried. Have you tried it? Anita from Gaga Knits has put her entry in, and it looks really nice. It's a letter A with flowers around it. From what she said, I'm not sure she'll try it again. But it's always good to have a go at something to find out whether you do like it or not, isn't it? And then the other one is the bigger the better, where if you've got several hats or several socks or a couple of shawls, a blanket, cardigan, jumper, whatever, that's more than 400 grams, it can go into the make-along. As long as you've got 400 grams or more by the time you enter the make-along. Both the make-alongs end at the end of next month. And I will post anywhere in the world for the prizes. And it will be a wonky bag and some bits and pieces. Everything I talk about should be down below. And if it isn't, then I will let me know and I'll find a link for you to follow. And also my contact details are down there. My Instagram and Ravelry on Spaknits, and my email account is spaknitsandcrafts@gmail.com. Feel free to contact me about anything. There's a lot I don't know about things, but you know, I'm happy to talk about most things. Right, so let's get on to the knitting. I'll talk first about something I've not got my hands on at the moment, and that's Mom's Ochre cardigan. Now, I get confused with these cardigans because I knitted an ochre cardigan in a sort of ochreish colour, yellow, for me, and it's a pattern by Ambah O'Brien. Mom liked it, she tried it on, and she said, I'll have one 2 sizes smaller. So I started on some blue colours that I've shown you before. They're all at Mum's house at the moment, so I can't show you any of the wool. And I ordered a little bit more from Wool Warehouse, the Scheepjes Metropolis, to add it into the cardigan for her. Well, when she tried it on the first time, she said she'd like the armholes to be a bit deeper and for it to eventually be so long. So I did that, and I knitted it up to about 8 or 9 inches in the body length to see if she would try it on again, so I knew how much border to do. And then she said, no, and she tried it on again, and she said, I want the armholes a bit higher. I said, I've already done that. I took them up about 1.5 inches, or very near to what the pattern stipulates. And I'd undone the whole of the body up to the armholes to re-knit it. So I said, well, you'll have to put up with the armholes, but tell me how much longer you want it, and I'll do that. And then I'll do the sleeves, you see. But she's away at the moment, Mom. She's gone down to Hastings to see my brother on her own, on the train again to London. She's been very brave, haven't you, Mom? And she's back tomorrow. Neither my brother nor my mum realised it was a bank holiday Monday. So I'm hoping she gets back okay. So yeah, so I've been working on my mum's ochre cardigan because I've knit the body twice now, or the main part of the body twice. And that's what I'd been working on in the main but I haven't got it to show you, sorry. Hopefully next time I come on here it should be finished or nearly finished. So instead, and because I seem to have ended up with this castanitis, and I think it's because I keep entering the 12 cast-ons that Ange runs at the start of every year. See, before I used to start a project, knit it, finish it, or I sort of got used to having two things on the go, and that suited me because I could have one thing by the telly at night and it would stay there and I'd just pick it up and knit. It's something simple. And then I would have something to work on in the day as well, you say. So I've adjusted to going from one project to two. And then the cast-on party means that I've now got several things to work on. I haven't told you what I'm wearing. This is how disorganised I am. I am wearing I don't know if you can you see the beading? This is the Monterey cardigan. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, on Rowan's website, and I've added a few more beads than the pattern calls for around the waist as well. And this is blacker yarn in serpentine, Lyonesse serpentine, the colour serpentine. And the Lyonesse is 50% wool, 50% linen, and it's lovely. I love it. I love the drape, I love the way it hangs, I love the colour. When you first have it, it pills quite a bit, but it seems to have settled down now, and I've probably had this for about 5 or 6 years. It needs a wash. I'm going to wash it now, and it'll probably go back into the wardrobe, and I might wear it a couple of times over the winter. Yeah, I really, really like this pattern. It's just a plain crew neck, and it's got beads along the edge and along the front as well, and on the cuffs. But I wouldn't, if you ever knit this, don't put all the beads on to start off with, like the pattern tells you, because where you've got the beads at the front and it's knit bottom up in one piece to the armhole. Say you've got a bead to put on every other row, right, on the knit rows, on here, on the start. You've got to pull that bead through 2 rows worth of yarn to get to where you want the bead. So if you ever knit something like this, be careful about how you apply your beads, because those beads going backwards and forwards, I think, would have quite a negative effect on the wool. I can't really see it in this light. I apologise for my camera going light and dark. Oh, you can just about see them glistening, I think, maybe. I'll try and stay back a bit, and it seems to settle the colour a bit. I'm again trying to record on my phone rather than the GoPro. But on Thursday I recorded a whole podcast. But it kept flashing like it just did. And I'm sure it's going to look like that when I put it on the screen. And it was really messy, and it was flipped again. Now, what I've done now is I've videoed a sample very quickly, 10 seconds. I've gone back to the video and it's not flipped. Or it's recorded it. See, flashing again. Recorded how I'd look at it. So I tried to rectify it on my software, and again I had this really squashy effect where I ended up about that narrow, that wide in the middle. Really weird. So I do apologise for the very poor quality of videoing. I thought that the flashing effect on the screen was partly due to the sun being out on Thursday, and it kept going behind clouds. Even though it was later in the day, like it is now, it's about 4 o'clock, and it had gone over the house, it was still bright and then a bit darker. But no, it's still here, so apologies. Please bear with me. I will go back to the the little camera. And that uses its batteries up very, very quickly, but it's easy enough to use. And this phone is new to me. I've had it since I last spoke to you. It keeps coming up with a notice at one side, but I don't know what that is. I've got my ring light on above me. Maybe need to put the phone in the ring light. Welcome to Amateur Hour. I've only been doing this for 3 years. Anyway, let's get back to where we were before I forgot to tell you what I was wearing and that I'd recorded a podcast the other day. I like Caitlin Hunter's patterns. I know there was a bit of controversy surrounding her a few years ago. I tried to find out what that was back when it happened. Couldn't find anything apart from she'd blocked somebody by accident, and that I thought was all sorted out. But she's a very popular designer, and she has got a number of designs. If you look at Ravelry and you just look at most popular, the 10-year, and it might be the Soul Dotner, have got several thousand projects on Ravelry. And she has a website. If you can't use Ravelry, she has a website where you can access her patterns. So this is called the Stromboli that was released the other day, and it's a T top, and it's all over lace. And I looked at it and I loved it. Now, because I signed up to her newsletter, I got 30% off, which is quite a good saving, and I knew immediately what I was going to do with it. So I got hold of my fantastic mister, less orange than that, more, should we say ochre again? My face doesn't half look red, doesn't it? It's got makeup on. If I look in the mirror that way, I don't look red. Maybe I should turn it. What makes you... let me just see if I can fiddle with the light. That's warm light. That's cool light. Can you see any difference? I think the warm might be slightly better. Let's put that behind there again. Anyway, right. This is Fantastic Mister. Still not coming out right. It is a less orange, and it's a merino silk and yak, and it's from Emma of Yarn Worthy, and I bought it in her closing down sale. I think I need to go get a new set of teeth or something. I cast the Stromboli on almost immediately, and this is it. It's duller in real life. It is duller. It's nearer that colour in real life. Okay, so you can see the nice lace pattern up the front, and then at the sides and partly on the back, you've got what she calls the knot stitch. Very easy to do. Don't be put off this very intricate looking pattern. If you've done a bit of lace, you'll be able to cope with this. So that's a repeat. That's a five pattern repeat across the front, and then the knot stitch in between, and the knot stitch at the side and the back. But two things. I have made modifications slightly. I knit the rib as requested, and that's about 2 inches at the bottom. It's all in one. Worked in the round up into the armholes. And so I wash my hair. I keep finding hairs in front of me. What you've got is you've got the same on the front and the back on the pattern. So this, it looks like cables, but it isn't. This pattern here should be on the back. But I didn't want it on the back. I thought it would save me a lot of time. I'm sat in a wheelchair. People don't see my back. And if they are creeping up behind me, they shouldn't be. Unless they're pushing me, I'll let them. If they're pushing me in my manual, I'll let them off. So I've done a rib. I've done the knot pattern. That's the side seam. I've done the knot pattern at the side. And then where that other pattern was in the middle, I've just substituted a 4x2 rib. Okay. Actually, the tones show up quite well with the light shining on it like this. It doesn't show up that as well in real life, and I've dropped a load of stitches. No. So I'm going to just quickly pick those up before. Doesn't matter if I don't pick them up exactly right, as long as I get them all back on the needle in some shape or form. Yeah, I decided it would probably save me a bit of wool as well, because I looked at the meterage for the top, and I had enough in 4 skeins of this, even though this is 366 per 100 grams, metres that is. And I'm knitting the second to largest size. It's going to block quite well, I think. And I thought, well, I'm going to be all right. But it is cropped, and it's only 9 inches from the underarm to the rib, bottom of the rib. And I think that is too short for me. And you know, we've talked about people with big bosoms wearing crop tops before, and I find that they can ride up and things. It's not a nice look. Especially me sitting there and rub. Oh, look, I've dropped a stitch marker as well. I'll find out where that goes in a minute. And I realised that I need to do a few more repeats of the pattern. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. That is my second ball, and I'm quite happy to use most of that. But looking at how deep the armholes are on the schematic, I think I'm going to be all right with the overall length. But we'll see. And my thoughts were that if I run out, or it looks like I'm going to run out of yarn, and I will play yarn chicken, I'm not going to do what I've done before, where I make my decision early and then undo the lot, and I would have had enough in the end anyway. I'm going to carry on knitting. And if it looks like I can't get both sleeves out of what I've got left, I will undo a little bit at the top and turn it into a scoop or a V-neck, rather than just it's just a slightly lower crew. Put a couple of pictures of the pattern up while I'm talking about it. But yeah, the Stromboli, that's upside down, but I highly recommend the pattern. It's not on offer anymore, but Caitlin often has decent sales, so where you can pick her patterns up. And I'm really pleased that I started this, and I want to finish it so I can wear it. So that is positive. It's a very positive thing that I'm doing. I'm enjoying it as well. And once I'd done the first repeat of the pattern, I got it in my head, so I didn't have to. All I'm doing is I'm marking out which row I've done, just to help me, because it said work so many X number of pattern repeats before you get to the armhole. So I've done all that, and now I'm doing a little bit more. So I'll update you on that on Instagram and as we go along. And the other thing I'm knitting in my handy IKEA bamboo bowl is the Exordium by Rebecca Pico on. I got the pattern off Ravelry, and I showed you this last time. I'm knitting it with a merino and silk from Black Elephant. That's fairly accurate. And it's beautiful. Didn't have a colourway on it on the label, and it's a Donegal Nep from Ulsan, and it was a gift from Sophia, and it was gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, that's not bad either. It's slightly less orange than that, a bit like the Fantastic Mister. Yeah, it's a lovely mossy green. So the Exordium is a pattern, like a 3/4 triangle. You only work, not like an asymmetric where you increase on both sides and then decrease on one. You only increase on one of these sides. So you start off with garter, that's the main colour. You do stripes, you do a different version of a knot stitch. So I'm doing knot stitches on both of the things I'm working on at the moment, and that's in alternate colours there. Then another garter, another stripe, and then we've done the second set of knots, and now I'm on to a garter session. And when I've done that, I think I do knots, but only in that colour. So I think I'm going to have plenty of yarn left over. if I've got too much yarn left over, I'd like to save about 20 grams if I can, just to go into other things, because it a bit like the Cozy Memories blanket. It's called Memories because the walls that you see remind you of making other things, don't they? So I'd like to save a bit, like 10 or 20 grams would be nice. And I'm knitting on this when I don't fall asleep in the evening, and it's quite a simple pattern again. It shouldn't take me too long. So if I've got some wool left over, what I was saying was, before I interrupted myself again, is if I've got wool left over, I'll carry on a bit. So we'll see how we get on. So that's the other thing that I've been working on. And I think it's made a bit of progress since I last spoke to you. As I say, I keep falling asleep. And I've had no sewing progress because Mum had sciatica, and I think it must be the 4th week now that she's been suffering with it. So she's not been able to get on the floor, cut my next blouse out, and she was so poorly the first couple of weeks. We haven't been able to work on the gingham top that I wore last time, but it'll all get done. It's, I've not like I haven't got plenty to get on with, but because I knitted up the ochre body again, and then I started on a Stromboli, I didn't get round to starting my quilting, which I want to do this week. I'm desperate to start it. I'm so looking forward to doing it. So yes, that's my progress. So, should we do incoming? Just a little bit of incoming. This is called free postage logic. And I'm sure you will know immediately what I'm talking about. I'd ordered 3 balls of the Scheepjes at 50 grams each to go into Mum's cardigan. But when I re-knitted it, the body, I took out the lilac colour because it wasn't really going for me. So instead, I thought I'll get a different colour. I'll get a darker blue, a darker turquoisey blue, and that was £6.85, and Wool Warehouse do free postage at £30. And I thought, well, I'm not going to pay £4 postage or whatever it is, and make that one ball 10 quid or £11, when I could buy enough yarn to make myself a jumper. That's my logic. So I bought some more of the Stylecraft Naturals bamboo and cotton. It's a DK weight, and I bought the raisin colourway. Can't show it you, I've put it away in a box. But I did show a picture on Instagram the other day when my previous podcast wasn't suitable to be shown. And I'm very pleased with it, and I shall knit that up into a nice summer top at some point. Yes, I have got stash beyond life expectancy. I could knit it up for somebody else, though, couldn't I? So yeah, I bought that. And what else did I buy? And that's it. And then I saw Mum on Wednesday, and she said to me, would you like what's in here? And I'll try not to make too much noise. She's given me some very, very neat work. English paper piecing. The papers are still in the back. Very neat. Now, Mum made me a beautiful single size quilt cover when I was younger, and I'm hoping I've got it somewhere because it started falling apart in the end, and it had got some of the material from dresses that I'd had since I was a little girl. So I'm hoping it's in the loft that I didn't throw it away. I think I'm too sentimental to throw things away, to be honest, a lot of the time. But anyway, she gave me this. Could I make use of it? Yes, of course I could. And it might turn up in somebody's bag, although I'm more likely to leave it because my mum's hand-stitched it, is to use it and hand-stitch more myself. And she's left me with a fair bit of the fabric as well. So, and it's a moda. So good quality. And I went through the bag and I thought, why she left me your bowel cancer screening? And I realised it's because it's stiff paper. Because it's 2012. It's probably changed since then. You know, they send you that thing in the post these days, don't they? I don't know when that was going in 2012. Anyway, so I've got that. And I've got a few sort of magazine papers and things. And she's also got her original stiff card templates. So thank you for that, Mum. That's going to be really useful. And English paper piecing is one of those things that I am itching to get on with. I have stitched a couple of hexagons together around some paper, but I've not left much of a margin, and I think I haven't been generous enough with my seams, and I'm going to have trouble sewing them up. And in that case, I'll just chuck, because I'm starting out on some quite cheap fabric. If that's the case, then I'll just chuck them, or, you know, see if I can cut even smaller hexagons out of them and leave it at that and put them into something else. But we'll see. And that's the good thing about quilting or English paper piecing, is there no limit to the size of papers that you can use, really, and get smaller and smaller, including scraps, etc. So yes, so thank you for that. And that's all my incoming. Told you I haven't been up to much. So let's talk about activity. Because Mum's had sciatica, hadn't seen her for a while, and Tom and I went up there a couple of weekends ago, and while we're there, my nephew Scott dropped in, and then this lady knocked on the door and she said, "Do you realise the two cars at the end of your drive have joined up?" Or I don't know what word she used, because I didn't answer the door. My mum lives in a service road. It's on a bit of a slope, bit of a start of a hill. And Scott hadn't put his car in gear, apparently. I don't know about manual gearboxes because I drive an automatic. And he very slowly had come back and hit our car. Well, the weird thing is that I'd seen his car, and I'm usually really observant about these things. I'd seen his car next to ours, and subconsciously I can remember thinking, nobody going to get past that. You know, if somebody wanted to visit next door, for instance. Anyway, no damage done, really. He was absolutely appalled. And but Tom and I went, don't worry. He cleaned the side of the car, and he's done as much damage to our car that he's done to his car that he's done to ours. Very, very small scratch, not gone through all the paintwork. It must have rolled back really, 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 really slowly. Anyway, he's not happy. And I said to him, you're in the wrong family to do this sort of thing, because you'll never be allowed to forget it. And he went, oh no. So yes, that was funny. And then I went and had my hair cut. I've tried to put it into a slightly different parting today. I had my hair cut about 10 days ago, and I said to her, I don't want to lose any length. She said, well, I'll trim the layers. Okay. But it's come out a bit mullety. I'm not sure. Looks a bit better today. Probably because I've conditioned it, and I put a tiny bit of hairspray on it just to stop it from having a very dead straight fringe, which I don't like. So it doesn't look too bad today, but it looked awful the other day. I mean, tomorrow when it hasn't been washed, it'll look a lot flatter. So I won't ask her to do that again. I'll just trim it. Very, very light trim. And then the following Monday, last Monday, I went to Merry Hill with my friend Elaine. We'd planned to go the week before, but Elaine said the forecast was to be very, very hot. So we put it off, and yeah, it was okay. We had a good look round, didn't buy anything of significance. I ached a lot, and I was aching ever such a lot by the time I got home. And then, so that was on Monday. Wednesday, I went to Longbridge, picked my mum up, took her to get her train tickets for this weekend from Bromsgrove Station, because she lives in Bromsgrove, and it was the nearest station to go and pick the tickets up from her journey from Birmingham. Then we went to Longbridge. We only went in the M&S and the Boots briefly, and that was it. We had a cup of tea and shared some toast. And I don't think I bought anything apart from a little bit of food, and that was it. I bought their gastro dining meal, which was the chicken parmigiano or something like that. And it's chicken in breadcrumbs, and you get a cheese to put over the top of it at the last 5 minutes in the oven, and a tomato sauce that goes on in the last 10 minutes, something like that. And I said to Tom, I don't want the crispy chicken being uncrispy because you put tomato sauce on it. It doesn't make sense to me. So we had it with pasta and put the tomato sauce on the pasta with a few of our tomatoes, because they're finally coming ripe. Only about a month, 6 weeks later than usual. And I thought the chicken tasted horrible. The quality of the chicken was fine. You could tell it was breast meat. But the outer coating was just weirdly tasting. And I didn't really enjoy the cheese on top either. That was a bit strange. And I'd look forward to having that dish for years, chicken parma, as some people call it. And I thought, oh. So the dining is 12 quid for three items. So I bought the mac and cheese balls, which have gone in the freezer. We'll have them one day, dinner time, when we fed up of having sandwiches. Only one each, but that'd do me. And then, and I bought the boulangerie potatoes, which are like dauphinoise, but they're done in stock instead, with another butter apparently. So they're not as calorific. Tom's a bit unsure about whether he'll like them or not. Personally, I said, well, I know I will like them. But they've gone in the freezer. So yes, I was quite disappointed in trying something I've been looking forward to trying for years. So in the end, you're better if you can, making your own, aren't you? I had a chat with Penny the other day, and I said to her, sorry, that's my activity done, really. Oh no, since I recorded Thursday, on the Friday, I met my friend Denise from work, and I know her from work, and we went into our little town centre in Droitwich here. Went into muffin break and had our lunch, and then had a walk round, and I went across the road out of the town centre to the nearby industrial estate. I had to go in the road because I didn't realise there was an underpass. I've only been here 15 years. To a bathroom and kitchen place, but it was shut. So I was quite annoyed about that, because there's nothing on the door saying we'll be back in half an hour, we're at lunch type of thing, which, is understandable, and we would have waited. Anyway, there's me trying to put my foot in the door to start my bathroom rolling, and I get immediately put off by a shut door. Come on. Nice ramp to it. I don't think access would have been a problem to get inside. So yes, I saw Denise. I got home on Friday night, having been in the town centre for a few hours, about 3 or 4 hours, mainly talking, you know what we like. And I was so achy, like I had been on Monday when I saw Elaine in Merry Hill. And Tom said to me, why don't you try an ibuprofen instead of more opiates? Because I can't really take ibuprofen on a regular basis, because I've only got one kidney, and the anti-inflammatories are generally processed through the kidney. But I used to be on them for all the time, for years, and it didn't seem to do me any harm. So I took one on Friday night when I got home, and it did make a difference. And I've taken one again this morning, because when I got out of the shower, my body just went, I don't want to know, Whereas I felt reasonably well before I got in the shower. So all that scrubbing. So yes, and so I'd said to Penny about going to the Southern Wall show at Newbury Race Course, and that's in next weekend. And, fortnight today, fortnight yesterday and today. And she said, yes, she'd go with me. And I really, really want to go, but I can't. I've got to get the car sorted. I'm getting stiffer and my recovery rate isn't as good as it was even a couple of months ago. And it's still good weather. Can't blame the winter yet. So I'm not going to do that because I'd be in my chair and I'd spend money as well. But it's my wedding anniversary this week, so I usually buy myself some wool. And I'm going to show you what my plans are and see if you can assist me in telling me what you think will go. I've asked a couple of people already. For instance, Sal. I was chatting to Sal on WhatsApp last night about what colour. And we both came to the same conclusion independently. But, yeah. And I'm waiting for... Yeah, so I would have gone. I will be buying myself a little bit of wool. And why not? Instead of iron... For 6 years married. I don't want an iron because I hate ironing, and I've got 2 irons plus my craft iron. And then I can't think of any iron, but I do like those things you shove in the garden, like a robin or a bird or something. You know, well, robin is a bird or a hedgehog. You know, like they're rusty already. Quite like the look of those. I might see. Tom wants to buy me one of them, or I buy him one. He won't like that. Are you keeping up? I'm really, really wittering, I'm sorry. But yeah, my plans going forward, I'd like to go and see my sister in Whitney. I had a chat to her on Friday night, and then I don't want to go to the science centre in Leicester once the kids are back at school. But I've got to get the car sorted, and on Tuesday, because tomorrow's Bank Holiday Monday, I'll be phoning up to see if I can make an appointment to see about a swivel seat for our car, and that'll be fun. I will film it. Ah, dear. Okay, right, now I want your advice, ideas for patterns, for instance. Let me just go and get what I'm talking about. Actually, it's a good job I've got these out, because on the photographs on Ravelry they look far more yellowy, creamy than they do to me in real life. This is the colourway Shawl by Zakami in Sui Alpaca. It has many, many colours in it. And of course, they're not all the same because of the colours and how it's been dyed. That's not a problem at all. I've got 4. Now that to me, you see, that's quite green at the top. And there is no dark brown at the top, I can assure you. Really, really hard to show you an accurate picture. That is slightly gingery, but it's showing up far darker on the screen, like most colours seem to be. And then there's finally that one. Now these are coming out darker than I'm showing you, so you might not be able to help me really. But I wondered what colour I should put with them, because they need to have another colour. Now these aren't, I'm going to treat them as lace weight, but they're actually 300 metres. Sorry. No. This is non-superwash, and it's 420 metres per 300 grams. Now on Ravelry it says it's DK weight, so I'm going to go with what it says on here. So it is lace weight, like using a mohair silk, kid silk. And I've used Sui Alpaca on my Felix jumper, and I love it. But this has got a beautiful, beautiful range of colours. And I'm wondering whether... I thought a champagne colour, and that's what Sal said. And Sal suggests something with a hint of glitter in it as well, that might show through, which I quite agree with. Now, I found on Hobby, with 2 eyes, that they do an alpaca silk, which is quite nice, not too expensive. But there's also, in Rowan fine lace, there is, which obviously will come in a bit more expensive, being Rowan, is a pear colour, which is a nice yellow, and that might work as well, coming through this. So you can see, I mean, I really want to knit this up by the winter. Yes, I know I've got other cast on. Could you save it for one of my 12 cast ons, couldn't I? But I'm a bit impatient in the fact that I want to do all the things at the moment. I don't know what's happened to my brain. See that? Yeah, that's not too bad actually. That's not coming. It looks like different colours show up to a different depth. So it's very interesting colours on these 4 skeins, as you can see. Now that looks dark brown to me, and it's sort of a dark green. It's not as red as that in real life. So the question is, do you think a champagne colour would go? Something neutral, I'm thinking, but nothing too dull. I don't want a white or a cream, and I certainly don't want any dark. Well, I didn't think so anyway, but if you disagree, please say so. And the other thing is pattern. What pattern? Now, it can't be anything lacy because it won't show up. It needs to be with something else because I'm heavy on my clothes. So, pattern suggestions, please, for this. If I remember, I'll put a link to my photographs on Ravelry, which make it look a bit different again. You'll only know what this looks like if you meet me in real life. But, yeah, so, pattern suggestions, please. I think it's going to be a jumper, because I think that'll be easier to do. I did the Felix in 4-ply and Suri alpaca, and I love it. It's very warm jumper, and it's not too heavy, because you've got, like, the overall weight, really, of an Aran almost. You've got a lot of the warmth that the Suri alpaca drops. So don't regret buying this. I think lovely, absolutely lovely. And isn't it good to have something a bit different from the greens and the browns I'd usually buy, or even the greys I buy. So I don't think grey would sit very well under here. I think it would dull it too much. Anyway, so this is your homework, right, until I see you next time. And I've whittled on for about 40 odd minutes, so that's not bad for me. What colour do you think should go under there? And also, do you think it should be a lace weight or a 4-ply, if you've got any preference yourself where you've knitted it? And I'm going to give you a clue. Something like this is going to be part of my next make-along. So I'll give you something to think about. That'll be announced sometime in September. Maybe next time, why not? And pattern suggestions, please. Preferably jumpers, but I don't mind a cardigan, as you know. But I think I'd prefer a jumper in this. Okay? So there you go. And you can submit your homework anytime you fancy. There is no deadline. I'm going to go, and I will see you very soon. I will be less than 3 weeks, especially if things start moving on the wheel, on the car front, and I get to sit in a swivel seat and scream. It's 2 foot off the floor. I can't help it. I feel dizzy. Idiot. I'm going to go now. I might cut that last bit out because I will see you very soon. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you've been up to, what you've been doing. And you take care. Look after yourselves. Bye.